Hello, all you YouTube. Is the Zion Zeus, and this is part 2 of the Nibiru element survival videos that I've decided to do based upon the amount of earthquakes that are hitting the planet. And what I decided to also do is just give you an idea and an overview of the amount of volcanic activity that is now also transpiring on the planet. And another thing we're going to look at is tides, how the moon affects the earth, and how the sun affects the earth, and so on and so forth. Well, I'm hearing a lot of talk right now that the moon seems to be tilted off its orbit and it's not in the same place, and it's looking kind of orange tonight, which is a full moon for all you werewolves. Just kidding. Maybe not, but yeah, I'm just kidding. And if that's the case and the moon is off its orbit, could that increase high tides in certain coastal regions, which would then increase heavier basins on different plates, which could also cause an increment upshot in earthquakes? So these are the areas I'm looking at for all you guys that are really taking this serious and paying attention to what's happening to the earth right now. So let's have a look at the volcanic activity, and what we can see is that Vanuatu 1774 in or before was a very interesting date in itself. And as we slowly go forward, we have Guatemala in 1922, but what you notice is the amount of years between them. 11 years, then we have next year 1934, 2 in 1934, and then we go 21 years, then we don't get another volcanic eruption until 1955. And then we go another 12 years, we come to Ethiopia and Indonesia in the same year, and then we go forward 5 years, and you can notice that from here to around there to there, it's starting to slowly get closer. And then we jump forward 25 years to 1997. 2 years later, 1999, we get Russia erupting, and then 2000 we have another one. So all of a sudden we went from 25 years, 2 years, and now 1 year. That's a major pattern shift right there, right between this area, this and this, a major pattern shift, because the pattern doesn't break, it continues. And we go to 2000, Papua New Guinea, September 16th, 2001, 2002, 2002, 2004, 2005, 2005, and the pattern continues. 2008, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in 1 year. So that's another big pattern jump right there. We went from 2 to 3 maximum 1 year to 5 in 2008. 2009, right at the end, a year on, we had 1, 2, 3, so there was an uptick in volcanic activities already in the 2000s. Now we come into 2010, and it went absolutely bananas in 2010. Papua New Guinea went off twice, Italy went off, India went off, Indonesia went off, Philippines, Russia, Ecuador, Indonesia, Nicaragua also went off. So let's have a look at that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in 1 year went off. So we can see from where we started that there was a big increase. 2011, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we already have 12 in 2011, and this report was generated at the end of July. So that'll tell you folks that we have a major upshot in volcanic activity getting closer to something. Something has caused the planet to become more enlivened, more increased in earthquake seismicity, volcanic increases. And now, as I said, today we see that the moon seems to be off its orbit a little bit, not in the same place that it usually is for the last couple of years, and a lot of reports about that right now. So we see that Chile seems to be really going off. Japan, Russia went off twice already, Chile went off twice, and Iceland let's have a look at Iceland. Iceland, I believe, went off again in August. So let's have a look at the moon, and we can see here, this is the orbit the moon takes around the Earth. It's not a regular equator orbit. It goes elongated around the Earth. So if the moon is off, that could cause a major increase in tides. So it's something to take note of. Anybody that works in the tide reading or the maritime industry, take a little bit of note. You've probably already started to see that the tides have altered a little bit. We see the path of the barycenter, which is the moon and the Earth's orbit around each other, the path of the Earth as it comes around the sun. So if the sun gets affected by anything coming into our solar system, that automatically will affect the moon, which will affect the tides, and you guys can kind of see the pattern developing there. So the precession of the equinox, the blue disk is the equilateral plane, the white line is the equinoxes, so there's the white line here. The green plane is the plane of the ecliptic, so this is the ecliptic. It doesn't really change, but this is the equinoxes going around. And just a little bit of information on the sun. Because of the ecliptic nature of the Earth's orbit and constant changes in Earth's rate of spin of the previously mentioned phenomena, the sun as seen from Earth is moving at a non-uniform rate. This makes it difficult to use the real position of the sun as a reference for timekeeping. For these purposes, a point which moves at a constant rate around the Earth is used instead of the real position of the sun. This point is called the mean sun and is the basis for mean solar time. So that's just some information I wanted to kind of share a little bit. Star charts use the mean equinox instead of the true equinox for their 0 points. The mean equinox is the position of the equinox corrected for the slight but noticeable changes caused by nutation and Chandler wobble. The mean equinox is still affected by precession, however, and does change position, but it does it as a constant predictable rate. Scientists requiring up-to-date precision information about the position of the Earth can use the International Earth Rotation Service, or IERS. This information can be found at, and here's the website for that if you want to go have a look. Actually, let's have a look, see what it is. So for Earth orientation parameters, you can go in there and kind of get a prediction of Earth's different tides and so on and so forth. Or you can go in there. I'll put that link in this video also. So then the other thing I want to touch on is the second part of the survival steps. And again, this is surviving catastrophic events. Couple of things. In catastrophic situations, your most important duty is survival, both for yourself and your loved ones, including your pets. And again, I talked about this earlier. If your pets, you're really so attached to your pets, then you can save them. But just remember, you want to be able to get out as fast as you can. You may be tempted to stay close to your property because you've heard horror stories about looting. Just remember, it doesn't matter what cost or price your house is. When this begins, or if this takes place, the price of your house has nothing to do with your survival. So just think about that. Material stuff won't mean anything. Everything will be devalued automatic. Stay close to your property because you've heard horror stories about looting. It happens, but you can get shot defending your property. Again, what you're defending, materialistic stuff, it'll be more important to prepare yourself and your family to get out of Dodge. Do you really want to do that? Next, you may believe that the government will save me. Oh, the government's gonna come save me, la la la. I think if everybody studies Katrina and figures out what happened down there, you'll see that that wasn't the case. That is also not true. The government will be trying to keep its basic functions working while it is helping as many people as it can. And what that means is that it'll be spread thin, and some people you're gonna have to be ready for anything that would come. That means some people will have to wait for help. How long can you wait with no food or water, under rubble, or isolated from law enforcement and firefighters? Well, that's going to be up to you and your determined mind to prepare and be ready. And again, if you lost your job and you had a food cupboard, you'd be able to get over that hard time. If there was a major kind of local disaster like a tornado, hurricane, or flooding, again, you'd need a food store. This, if a cataclysmic event happens, I don't really recommend storing food in a house or anything. Be ready to go to move inland to kind of survive incoming tides, because again, if the moon is moved out of its orbit, tides would rise extremely rapidly, and a shifting of the moon would cause tsunamis automatic, which would increase volcanic activity, which is also increase earthquake activity. All in one, a shifting of one impacts everything else. So what if there are secondary impacts like aftershocks, fires, more waves and tornadoes after the hurricanes? Cowards don't run, survivors do. It is not selfish to think about yourself first. If you try to help others before you are safe, you may become a victim. Be smart and keep safe. Again, if you go around with la da da da, I'm gonna save the world, you may end up being on the losing end of that victim mode. So it's not about being selfish, it's about being prepared and ready, and those of like mind will already have the same thoughts. Everybody will be getting out of Dodge that are prepared. So we're going to look at step 2. Step 2, make plans. Write your plans, don't just think about them. Base them on your strengths and work around your weaknesses. Practice them several times a year in different weather conditions and at different times of the week, including night and day drills. Inform those closest to you of your plans. Have a plan A, B and C in place with the ability to use parts of each if one alone won't work. If you can't address a weakness identified in your assessment with your resources, then start to look for outside assistance. This is discussed in step 3. So a little summation of this. What I'm talking about here is that do quick drills, do semi preparation drills. I did find it quite interesting that you had Irene. If you look at that, maybe that was a preparation drill for the US, who's to say. But as that did happen, a lot of troops were moved into different areas during that particular hurricane, and right after that you had 3 more, and you also had the fires in Texas, and you had mini shocks going across the US. Is it possible that troops are being moved into different areas? Again, it's just something to be aware of and cognitive of. And the reason I'm putting this together at this stage is that by the grace of God, nothing happens and everybody goes along in life, but life isn't always as people believe it's gonna be, and those of prepared mind are maybe tapped on the shoulder when they're young to do what they're meant to do when they're here, and those who have to get information out are doing everything they can. They'll use as many medias as they can to talk about and get information out. And I am the Zion Zeus. You can tune in Wednesday 9 p.m. blogtalkradio.com/the Zion Zeus. And if you got any questions about making plans or surviving or resources or anything like that, listen to the show, and if you got a question, call in, and I'm really open to discuss many different things. I'm going to give you a lot of information on Wednesday night, a lot of information, and there's a lot more information that I'd like to get into, but on the next video, part 3, we look at step 3. And what's next in your preparation, and what you can do to quickly prepare and get out of Dodge. One of the key things that you're gonna have to take in your assessment is bridges, because most bridges in most counties, states, districts are not getting the upkeep they were getting 10 years ago. A lot of the federal governments had the money, they constantly upgraded and repaired all the bridges. Well, most people don't know that most bridges funding ran out 3, 4 or 10 years ago, and now they're all privately owned, and it's up to those private companies to maintain the bridges, and not all have done so. Yeah, and that's why there's an upshot in stories about bridges collapsing or having problems. So it's just something to think about. Again, I am the Zion Zeus, and check back in for the next video, part 3. Be safe.